As this wicked weather starts to kick in, many people around the state find themselves without a roof over their heads on any given night.
Stepping On Up is a community-wide effort to end homelessness in Duluth, and within that effort is a new resource for homeless youth across the city.
Northern News Now's Isabella Zadra tells us about a new shelter in the works.
Youth homelessness is an issue across the state, including right here in our own backyard.
As a kid growing up in Duluth, I know what it's like to search from couch and house to house.
State Representative Leash Kozlowski is one of the many who has found themselves in these situations, wondering if they will have a roof over their head on any given night. Stepping On Up, along with other supporters, gathered to tour Duluth's newest shelter. Another Door is a youth shelter that supports people between the ages of 18 and 24. It's equipped with living quarters, a kitchen, multiple bathrooms, and even in-house laundry. They will also provide social services to help residents navigate their next steps once they leave the shelter.
We can't thrive, let alone survive, when we don't have a safe place to call home.
Joel Kilgore is the project operator for Stepping On Up and is thrilled to have worked with multiple organizations to make the shelter come to life. He says it's important to create these age-geared spaces to help homeless youth now and help them get to the right path sooner than later.
By investing in our young folks now, we will have a stronger community in the future.
As for Kozlowski, they said a shelter like Another Door would have turned the dial on their lives and hopes this resource can do that for youth facing homelessness.
We're going to continue to fight and have your back.
In Duluth, Isabella Zadra, Northern News Now.